We'll now call the City Council meeting of October 25th to order. I'm going to invite Captain Williams to lead us in the pledge.
Honorable Mayor, members of the City Council, will you please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Jennifer, can you please call the roll?
Councilmember Avila?
Here.
Councilmember Beaver?
Here.
Councilmember Thorpe?
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Duncan?
Here.
Mayor Bogue?
Here. And before we move on to public comment, for the record, this is Councilmember Avila's 29th birthday. Well, maybe it's not his 29th, but it is.
It's my 30th. I'm celebrating my 39th anniversary of my 30th birthday.
All right, so before we actually go into public comment, I'm going to invite the Sheriff's Department to come up and give us a quick update in regards to the mudslides up in Oak Glen and on the 38.
Yes, sir. Honorable Mayor, members of the council, I'm here to report to you that Highway 38 has suffered some mudslides. I just got off a telephone call. There are now a total of 5 mudslides heading up to Angeles Oaks. One of our deputies was up there helping out a stranded motorist who was actually stuck in the mud, and a couple more slides happened, making it impassable to travel back down. So Caltrans is in the process of clearing it now, and there's going to be a hard closure up 38 until that time because it's impassable in both directions. There is going to be a flash flood warning that we are putting out on our social media, and we'll work together with our fire partners, and that should last until at least 8 o'clock this evening.
All right, thank you for the update.
Yes, sir.
You have anything?
No, sir.
Yeah. All right, so I do have 2 public speakers. Our first one will be Jeff Distelberg and Brianna Beaver. And for the record, you guys are limited to 3 minutes, and if you could state your name and your address for me.
Good evening, Council. Jeff Distelberg from the Healthy Yucaipa Committee, reporting to you tonight with Brianna Beaver. And I understand that our proposal for the 2022 Yucaipa Health Fair has been put on the consent agenda for tonight's meeting. We just wanted to come. I think Megan has some information that she was going to put up on the big screen here. Our committee's excited. We understand that the last time the city was able to do this was in 2018. So with COVID and everything else, we're excited to bring it back, and we've been busy working on sponsor forum, adopting some of the successful practices of other cities in the Inland Empire who have been able to host these events with success, and it's been a lot of fun. So Brianna, I'll turn it over to you.
We will have a flyer that we are going to pass out, and it's based on sponsorships and vendors for the event. So we're basically just looking to the council for support in this event and making sure that we can run it as smoothly as possible. So, oh, that's okay. So that is our proposed flyer. And then we also have sponsorship and vendor forms that we will be handing out as well.
Awesome. Thank you. Anything else?
No.
All right.
Thank you very much. Here to
Awesome.
take questions if you have any.
All right. Thank you very much, guys. Kathy Rosenfeld.
Good evening. I'm back. I am Kathy Rosenfeld. I live here in Yucaipa, but I am in the Friends of the Library. And I do have something for the council members. Inside is from the Friends of the Library. We invite each of you to come over and see our bookstore. We've given you each a pass to get a free book. So bring your family, bring your spouse, your children, relatives. And we're here, again, just to remind you, we need a library. So keep it on the agenda. We want to keep in front of you all. I'm sure you've seen the News Mirror that Calamasa is going to expand their library. So we need to get that done. So here to remind you. Thank you.
Thank you, Kathy. All right, so that is going to take us to the consent agenda, which are items number 1 through 8. Does anyone wish to withdraw one of the consent items for discussion?
I'll move to approve.
I'll second.
All right, so we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? All right, so that's going to take us to mayor and council business reports. Is there anything someone would like to say?
That was fast. Time's up. And we were out there this weekend for the Make a Difference Day. It was good times, good turnout, I think, and we will be out there again this coming Saturday. So anybody who's wanting to get their hands dirty in Yucaipa soil, come on out.
Bobby, have anything?
No, I'm good.
David?
I have nothing.
John? Yeah, it was a great turnout. Yeah, come on out this Saturday at, what time is it? At 8? 8 o'clock. All right, so that's going to take us to item number 9, and I believe this is for Jennifer.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. The city has received 4 applications to serve on the 2 vacant positions on the Mobile Home Rent Review Commission. The applications are being presented this evening for both Mayor Bogue and Councilmember Beaver's consideration. In addition, back on June 14th, the council directed staff to return to council in 3 months to reevaluate the overall process and the resolution 2021-26 that dealt with the stipend that we incorporated to gain interest on serving on this commission. I do see at least Mr. Allen is here in attendance, and I don't know your name, I'm sorry. Jessica Wilcox-Jones. Looks like she's also here to address any questions that you may have, but you have received 4 applications from Randy Allen, Bethane Kernan, Jessica Wilcox-Jones, and a Robert Miller, and they're attached to the staff report for your consideration.
Mr. Miller is here also.
And what was your name? Okay. All right, so we have 4 applications. I guess one is mine and one is Councilmember Beaver.
Yes, sir.
Do you have an appointment you would like to recommend?
Yes, sir. After reviewing the applications and attached documents, I would like to appoint Robert James Miller to the Mobile Home Rent Review Commission.
All right, and after reviewing all the applications, I'm going to have to go with Randy Allen. So with those 2, is everyone,
I don't think we need a vote on that, do we? No.
do we need a vote to?
I think usually the balance of the council just ratifies the appointments of the other members.
I concur.
So we don't need a vote, or we do need a vote?
I think just a motion to make those
All right,
appointments.
so we have a motion to accept these 2 applicants?
I'll move. I'll second.
All right, so we have a motion and a second to accept Randy Allen and Robert Miller. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? All right, so that's going to take us to possible action on pending legislation. I don't have anything. The legislators are out of session, so we're safe. All right, so moving on to department reports, item number 10. Let's see.
Were we going to review the process? Reevaluate the commission process? Was that going to be an
Is
item
that
we're going
something
to?
else? Did I miss that?
Yeah, it was the second recommendation that,
Okay.
based on what you told me back in June, you wanted me to come back to reevaluate if we're good to go now that we have a full commission. It's just to proceed, because the resolution's been adopted already. Up to you.
All right, so do you have anything, Bob? Anyone?
No.
So was that part of the motion, was to accept item number 2?
I didn't make the motion.
So I guess I need some clarification. As it relates to item number 2, This is relative to the establishing of a $75 per meeting stipend and cycling through commissioners from other commissions. Is that what, if I recall correctly?
Yeah, so back in June, when we were having difficulty filling the two positions, you directed staff to return in 3 months to see if we've garnered any interest from the public. And the staff report detailed the processes that we went through, the letters to the various council committees and commissions and in the newspaper. And you just directed us based on, interest, that we would come back to you no matter what to review, reevaluate the process overall and determine if you want to keep the stipend or not.
So we now have a full commission, and that is without the implementation of a stipend, or is that with a stipend?
The resolution's been passed, so unless you want me to come back at a future meeting to rescind that resolution, the stipend is in place.
No, I think now that we have a commission, I think that would be wrong to withdraw the stipend. That would
I'm
be
not disagreeing.
That would be a terrible, terrible thing to do, so.
Okay, so with that in mind, I would move that we also accept item number 2, where the city council, we accept the resolution 2021-26 and establish a stipend for the members of the MRRC, and that currently it's a rate of $75 per meeting.
All right, so that was a motion?
And I'll second it.
All right, so we have a motion and a second for item number 2. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? All right, thanks, Bob. Thanks for bringing that up.
And congratulations to our 2 new members.
All right, so that takes us to item 10, which are department reports. And I believe this is Landon.
I will be starting the presentation,
Okay.
Mr. Mayor, and then Landon will help me out towards the end. Good evening, Mayor and council members. This item is the environmental review for the Dunlap Boulevard Bridge Removal and Replacement Project at Wilson Creek. The current approved fiscal year 21-22 capital improvement program identifies many drainage infrastructure projects that are either in the planning, design, environmental, or even the construction phase. Several of those drainage projects are specifically intended to reduce the area within the city that has been identified by FEMA as a floodplain or a floodway. And as you may know, the properties that are within the floodway or the floodplain, they do have many development restrictions. For those that are developed, the property owners do have to pay higher premiums for flood insurance if they have any kind of mortgage on the property. This project, the Dunlap Boulevard Bridge Removal and Replacement Project, is a project that is intended to reduce that floodway and floodplain, specifically in the Dunlap area. Back in 2011, City Council prioritized a channel improvement project on Wilson Creek between 14th Street and I-10 Freeway. And during the design phase of that project, a hydraulic analysis was completed by the city's engineering consultant. That analysis did determine that the existing Dunlap Boulevard Bridge was undersized and created a bottleneck for storm flows in Wilson Creek. And that analysis also concluded that it would be beneficial for, from a drainage perspective, to remove that existing box culvert bridge and replace it with a taller and much longer bridge that would increase the capacity, the stormwater carrying capacity of Wilson Creek at that location. The exhibit on the screen shows the proposed project site. You can see that the Dunlap Boulevard Bridge over Wilson Creek, and recently the AM/PM gas station was constructed on the corner of Oakland Road and 14th Street, and you could see along the label for Wilson Creek, you could see the pad for the proposed hotel site. In 2016, the city submitted an application to FEMA where identifying 3 projects that would have to be completed in order to further reduce the floodplain and the floodway in this area. Those 3 projects were the Avenue D Wilson Creek Bridge, or the low water replacement project, the 13th Street at Wilson Creek Bridge, which was another low water replacement project. And the third project is this project, the Dunlap Boulevard Bridge Removal and Replacement Project. The two bridge projects have been completed, so this project is the third project that once completed, we would make another application to FEMA to amend the map and reduce the floodplain and the floodway in the city. And I'd just like to take a minute to go through the history of the FEMA maps in the Dunlap area. What you see on the screen here is the FEMA map prior to 2008. The area in dark blue is the floodway, and in light blue is the floodplain. In 2007, when the Oakland Creek Basin project was completed, this is the basin project on Bryant Street next to, or just south of Stater Brothers. When that project was completed, an application was submitted to FEMA to amend the map, and with the construction of that project, the floodplain and the floodway were reduced in the Dunlap area, as you can see on this next map. You can see that the floodway is primarily contained within the Wilson Creek Channel, and the lighter blue area, the floodplain, it was significantly reduced. I'll go back to the previous map here, and then this is the map effective in 2008. This next slide is similar to the previous one in that it shows the existing condition, and you can definitely see the bottleneck down at the bottom of the floodway. Again, that's right where the Dunlap Boulevard Bridge currently exists. And with the Clomar application that was submitted to FEMA in 2016 with the completion of the three projects, this is what the proposed floodway will look like. And as you can see, it's entirely contained within the Wilson Creek channel. And at this time, I'd like to introduce Landon Kern to present some more information on this project.
Thank you, Fermin. In 2019, following a formal request for proposals for the Dunlap Bridge Removal and Replacement Project, City Council awarded a contract to Dudek Engineering to complete the engineering plans and specifications for the construction of this bridge removal and replacement project. And the approximate limits of that work are shown in the slide before you in red there. That design effort by Dudek in collaboration with staff and flood control and other agencies is now substantially complete and pending final approval from the San Bernardino County Flood Control District, and incorporates an approach for phased construction. So if we move to the next slide, I will outline for you just briefly the proposed phasing for the construction of these improvements. Phase one primarily involves work outlined here over the existing bridge and infrastructure in red. It involves the removal of an existing or the center portion of the existing bridge, constructing the foundations on either side for the new bridge, and protecting the existing utilities in place in the remaining portion of that bridge while the new bridge is put in place. Following that, phase one would be phase two, which would involve transferring the existing utilities into that new bridge structure and those conduits installed with phase one, removing the existing portion of the bridge that remained with those abandoned utilities at that point, as well as the street and drainage improvements at the transitions and at the bridge itself, and ultimately the channel improvements underneath and tying in to the new bridge abutments, walls there, and transitioning to the existing channel up and downstream. The next slide shows a different image of the profile of the bridge. So at the bottom here, you'll see the existing box culvert that is in place right now, and the darker lines with the steel truss that will be going in with the replacement bridge are shown here, approximately 5 feet higher than the existing bridge, as well as those proposed channel walls with the foundation and abutment walls being wider than the existing bridge at that location as well. Part of the phasing is to protect in place the existing invert of that box culvert. In order to construct the ultimate bridge and channel improvements, since that work does take place within Wilson Creek and those jurisdictional waters, regulatory agency permits are required, and the CEQA analysis must be completed and provided to those regulatory agencies in order to obtain the permits for the construction within the creek area. And under section 15302 of the CEQA guidelines, replacement or reconstruction, this project does meet the criteria for categorical exemption since the new bridge structure has substantially the same purpose and capacity as the structure that's being proposed for replacement. For this reason, staff is recommending that council find the construction of the Dunlap Bridge removal and replacement project at Wilson Creek Channel as categorically exempt pursuant to a Class 2 categorical exemption under CEQA guidelines section 15302, and directs staff to file a notice of exemption. And with the completion of the plans and specifications, staff plans to move forward and formally advertise the bid package for the construction of the Phase 1 improvements, and hopefully we'll be returning to council in December with recommendations to move into construction of this first phase of the bridge replacement project. And that concludes our presentation. If you have any questions, we're available to answer.
All right, are there any questions for staff? Justin, you have anything?
No, sir.
No, Bob?
No.
Good, David?
Just one real fast. Is this a 12-foot wide or 24-foot wide bridge?
The new bridge structure will be about 30 feet with an 8-foot pathway, and it'll be an exit-only vehicular traffic traveling from the Oak Glen direction over to the Dunlap 14th Street intersection. So it's reducing the bridge deck from about 60 feet to 30 feet.
Okay, thank you.
Real quick, go back. So when the project is complete, it will be a westbound turn from Oakland onto the bridge, basically connecting Oakland to Dunlap Boulevard, and only one way?
It will, yes, it will be a one-way exit from that site, maintaining access across the channel with the utilities in place.
Will it intersect with Oakland Road?
The development site itself, as it's being proposed with their phase of construction, does include a connection through the existing approach on Oakland Road right here. So that approach will remain in place, as will this point of access. So with these bridge improvements, there will be maintained this third point of access to the site, along with the utilities that will be in the bridge at that location.
So historically, Dunlap Boulevard had previously connected directly, I guess that would be east, through the existing little roadway there onto Oakland Road, near the Cedar Mill. Will it no longer connect to the Oakland Road directly, but rather by the project site there by the gas station? Is that what I'm gathering?
Go ahead.
With the construction of the Live Oak interchange improvements in 2006, that intersection was eliminated.
Okay.
And once this is constructed, there won't be public right-of-way connection to Oakland Road from this. It'll only serve as access to those properties that are being developed.
Understood, thank you.
And one more point, I guess, bringing up, since flood control does maintain this section of the channel in this area, that connection will be maintained for them to access this portion of the channel through the bridge, so they can maintain this section of the channel from the access road. So that the transitions and the access road connections will be maintained with this bridge as well.
And from what I understand, what has complicated this mostly is the utilities that actually run through that bridge. Is that correct?
There is a high-pressure gas transmission main that provides gas for most of Yucaipa. There's a gas distribution line and a water main and a telecommunications line on the other side.
Yeah, okay. All right. Is there any further discussion, or is there a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion to approve it. I'll second.
All right, so we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? All right, so thanks, Landon. That takes us to announcements. I'm going to change things up really quick. We did have someone who came for an appointment who would like to, she would like to speak. Unfortunately, she didn't fill out the speaker slip, but I would like to hear from her now if she would.
My name is Beth Ann Kiernan, and this is Jessica. I don't know your last name, but we both came in good faith because we thought we should be here to be asked questions for an interest that we felt was very important. And she's delightful. And if I was on the council, I would vote for her for sure. But I thought there were just like 1 or 2 spots, and I heard it was very difficult. I heard from many people that most people don't want to be on that board for rent control with mobile homes. And I just never have done business, and I've been in business, where you put in your resume and you're not asked questions. I felt it was unfair.
All right,
That's it?
thank you.
That's it?
Well, if we go through the application process, we look at if we want to invite you up, if we're gonna, then we will ask you questions, but that's the way the process is, and it's the way it's always been.
I know, so maybe that's why you have a problem with
Okay.
the mobile home rent. You know, you do have a problem there.
Perhaps.
Just
yeah.
saying. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, so that takes us to announcements. Are there any announcements?
Just remember the Winterfest is November 27th. That's going to be really important. We have an ice skating rink there.
John, you have anything? David?
No.
Nothing?
No, I'm good.
All right, we do not have a closed session, so with that, I will close the city council meeting.